Hello, Sinister Sippers. I'm Americus, your host for this chilling journey into the dark and mysterious. Go ahead and pour yourself a cup of tea, something warm, something comforting, because tonight we're doing things a little differently. Before we dive into the eerie tales, ghostly encounters, and true crime rabbit holes that brought you here, I want to take a moment to pull up a chair beside the fire and let you in on my story. Every podcast starts somewhere, and this is mine. Before the hauntings, before the legends, before the late nights researching things that kept me up longer than it should have, way too late, there was just me. One person who has always been drawn to the dark and mysterious and the stories that make your skin prickle. In this first episode, I'm answering your questions. Well, not really your questions. I came up with them. But I'm sure you guys would like to know. How Sinister Sips came to be, what fuels my fascination with the strange and the sinister, and why I decided to create a space where we can sip our tea and talk about the things most people are too scared to say out loud. So settle in, sip slow, and listen close, because this Sinister Sippers is where the story begins. So my first little question I wanted to talk on was a childhood ghost story, and this is one that I lived and that I experienced when I was a child from like a young age, younger than kindergarten and up. I told everyone that I had a little indigenous friend who I played with. She was a little girl, and she would leave me rocks on the stairs at my great-grandparents' house. That's just what she did, okay? I thought nothing of it. Well, of course, all the adults thought that it was me doing it, and that I was just being a kid saying that I had an indigenous imaginary friend. Then I went on vacation without my great-grandparents, and the rocks were still being left on the stairs. So we quickly discovered that I was full on playing with a ghost, and we think we actually found her burial place out in the woods in front of that house. It's the perfect rock outline of a little girl. So, there's other things. I've seen deceased family members. My great-grandmother, actually, she is the one that I've seen the most. I still smell her. I can still smell my grandfather. And there's a lot with family, but this is the one that sticks out the most. Now, I'm sure everyone wants to know what case got me into true crime, and that would be Eileen Wuornos. I had to research her for a school project thanks to an amazing psychology teacher in high school. Best project I'd ever done. I really had to dive deep into who she was and her past along with her crimes. And the teacher, he actually picked her for me, and I'm so thankful that he did. She is like, it's not right to say she's my favorite serial killer, but she is the one that I do the most research on, and anytime there is something new, I am always watching it. Now, for the conspiracy side, the first one I ever remember hearing is the Mandela effect, and it's actually from a Shane Dawson video I found one night up too late scrolling YouTube. And I went down the whole rabbit hole of all of his conspiracy videos he had out at the time. But that is the one that I remember listening to first and hearing about first. So let's move on to the next little thing, which is I have had encounters with paranormal entities, like I have mentioned with my past family members and things that really stick out. But a couple years ago, I was on a ghost walk at the little town we were vacationing in, and we were at this church, and there was a story being told about a man who was buried alive. The whole time I kept seeing a spirit playing peekaboo from behind a tree. Meanwhile, my ears started ringing, my knees were about to give out. I felt like I was about to faint, and as soon as we got off the grounds of that church, everything went back to normal. It's definitely the eeriest encounter I've ever had to date. And it has definitely stuck with me and kind of sparked this fire of telling ghost stories and wanting to share more with the world. Now, on this podcast, we will also be talking about cryptids, and I have a very favorite cryptid. I call him my Mothy Poo. I have read a romance novel about him because I just had to know what someone had to say about my Mothy Poo, and that will be the Mothman. He has always been my favorite. He will always be my favorite. I carry around a Mothman keychain with me all the time. I have several Mothman t-shirts. And one day I want to go to the Mothman Festival. So hopefully that will be coming soon because I ask every year if I can go. And he is just my favorite. And I don't know why. He's just adorable. He lurks in the dark. And he's cute. But with that being said, if I ever encountered Mothman, my Mothy Poo, I would probably scare him away out of squealing in excitement. It wouldn't be terror. I know he's like claims to be like all terrifying and no. I would be excited. I would be ecstatic. And he would probably wonder what this crazy woman is doing squealing at him instead of running away in terror. And he'd probably choose just to fly away because I would be so excited I wouldn't be able to stop squealing. But the reason that we are, as in us as a community, are here, I have many different stories I would love to tell. I have true crime cases. I have conspiracies, cryptids, haunted battlefields, just anything that lurks in the dark. And all this started because I wanted an outlet to share all of my passion and all of my just complete fascination with the true crime and paranormal. And this is a project that I started working on almost a year ago, which seems crazy, but I like to have a lot of stuff in place. So I have so much research, the cults, the true crime, the everything, and so much more research to be done for you guys. And there's going to be segments where there's a lot of my local tales. Growing up in the Appalachian Mountains definitely was not easy when it comes to all that. And we will dive into what lives in the Appalachian Mountains. We will dive into the cryptids and the ghost stories that I heard growing up. And next week you'll actually get to hear some local hauntings and chilling tales from my family that have been passed down. And I will sort of rotate through what I talk about each week. So it just doesn't get boring. It's not just, oh, she's done 3 weeks of true crime. Every week will be different, and every week will be bone-chilling to the core when it comes out. And I'm just really proud of this project and hope you guys like it. But with that, that's where it all begins. Just a cup of tea, a flicker of firelight, and a curiosity that refuses to sleep. Thank you for being here at the very start of this journey. Whether you're drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by true crime, or just love a good story told after dark, you belong here. This is more than a podcast. It's a place for the curious, the cautious, and the quietly brave. So until our next gathering, keep your tea hot, your mind open, and your lantern burning low, because around here, the stories don't end when the episode does. They linger. And I'll see you in the shadows, Sinister Sippers. Bye, guys.